everybody. For quite a while, I don't know if it's been like 5 or 6 months, I've been a subscriber to Retro Game Treasure. I've also tried Video Games Monthly. For me personally, Retro Game Treasure, I've had just the better time with. So that's why I chose to do them. But I think they're both really cool services if you enjoy getting mystery retro games in the mail. Today, I want to show you how to kind of set everything up to give you the best experience possible. I believe communication is key. Whether you're using Video Games Monthly or Retro Game Treasure, I believe using their preference system and inventories is key to giving you the better chance of getting a good box, to being happy every month. And that's what I want anyone who signs up to do. And by the way, I've had a few people use my referral link, and I'll put that link in the description below to sign up. Thank you so much. That helps me. I'm not sponsored by them, but if enough people use a referral link of yours, I think it's every 3 people you get a free box or something like that. This is the first time I might be getting a free box in the near future, not next month, but the month after. So here's what you do. First of all, on the main page, you use the Get Started tab over on the left-hand side. You do that, and you have to select a plan, and they show you basically 4 different options. $37 month to month, 3-month prepay, that's $108 roughly, or about $35 a month, I think, $36, $35, somewhere around there is what the 3-month. The 6-month saves you another $1 or $2 a month, and the 12-month, it's like $32 a month. But no matter what plan you choose, you also have to budget for $8 a month for shipping in addition. So the month-to-month plan in total is $45. They charge on once you're an active subscriber, they charge on the 1st of every month. And you usually get your box near the end of the month, like during the last week of the month or so. So if you want to cancel, and I go month to month, so I could cancel at any time. But if you want to cancel, you need to make sure you do it before the 1st of the month. So don't wait on that. And also update, well, they're supposed to update your inventory for you, so you don't have to worry about that. So that's pretty cool. So once you have set up, it'll take you to a preference page, or you could click the login once you have set up a login on the upper right of the main menu. And when you go to the main login page, on the lower left, there's like these 3 links that talk about your preferences, and they all seem to send you to the same preference area. So I'm going to click on one of those, and I'm going to take you right to there to show you how to set up your inventory and select your preferences again, so you can get the best box possible. Okay, so here is your inventory over here on the left-hand side. By the way, I'm doing this on my desktop. This might be different if you use the phone. I just like to use the desktop for this kind of stuff. So here's how you can add to inventory. So I'm going to add to my Atari 2600 inventory, which I have completely blank because I don't want them sending me games. I have so many Atari 2600 games, I chose to do other stuff. But you can see some of the other inventories here on the side, like I have 324 games marked. Now for the inventory, I don't only put in games that I own. I put in games maybe that I used to own. And also in some cases, games I just simply don't want. I have zero interest in a specific title, even if it fits in a genre I told them I like. So the inventory list is basically for me, do not, whatever you do, send me these games kind of lists. So let's see. For the inventory, you could use this drop-down menu, and you could just click them one at a time. And it could take a while to go through them. You could also try typing in a name. So let's look for TAC Scan by typing in TAC. And if I scroll down, it limited it. There's TAC Scan. It says you can also add a list. So if I just type in Superman, you know, it would add it if it comes through. But I don't like to use the list because if it's not spelled the same way, if there's something a little bit off, I don't want to have that error to happen. So that's not what I do. So to take off a game, you just hit the little X's. But I'm also going to show you a little shortcut. So what you could do, and by the way, when you're done, you have to hit Save Games. So I did this before where I filled out a whole list, tons of games, but I exited the section without hitting Saved, and I had to redo all the work. So it can be a little tedious. So if you hold down the Control button, you can actually do multiple games. Oops, I just accidentally made it smaller somehow. With the mouse click. So I'm holding down Control. So when I click the mouse, so I obviously, if it looks like if I scroll with the mouse while I hold Control, then that's going to make a problem. So I can use the scroll if the Control's not holding down, but if I hold down the Control, I can add all those games. There we go. They're now in there. So that, it takes a while, but I definitely recommend doing this. So let me just go, I'm not going to save this, so it's not going to happen. So here's the side. So now if I view my inventory, Let's go to view inventory. Well, it looks like it did save it. So they saved the games this time. So I need to remove some games. So here is some of these Atari 2600 games. I can hit this to remove. So let's say I made an error or something. You could hit the trash can. You can search for a game. So let's search for Superman. And you could see that there's some Superman games that I put on there. Whatever. So I'm going to go back to my inventory. And I'm going to go ahead and remove these because I have no plans to do Atari 2600. I mean, if they want to send me an air raid, that would be amazing. I really doubt that's going to happen. So here's your wish list. This is my wish list. You can view this it's also in your inventory, but if you just want to what games do I have in my wish list? If you want to add to your wish list, it's just like adding to your inventory. You pick the system you want. Let's go to Game Boy. And I could, again, pick any game I want to add. So if I wanted to do Barbie Game Girl, I could add that to my wish list, but guess what? I don't want to do that. Manage your preferences. So this is also important in my opinion. So when you do your preferences, it tells you, where you're kind of at. If you're just starting out, you want more games or you want quality games. So these boxes can have 3 to 5 games. If you're just starting out and you don't have any games, you put NES, I guarantee you, there's like a 90% chance you're going to get Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt in your first box. But for me, I put myself hardcore collector. Condition is key for me. And for the most part, the games I've gotten have been in good cosmetic shape. My last box, I did get a game that had marker on the cover. So that was kind of a bummer. But for the most part, that happens. Now they want to know what genres you like the most. And they tell you to pick a minimum of 4 categories. So you could see, I like that they give you an idea, like action adventure. This means it could be Mario or it could be Castlevania or Toe Jam and Earl, and you just check them. So here's all the ones that I put that I like the most. Personally, I like to stay away from the sport games because they're so cheap. They're so plentiful. Now I put the fun sport games like the NBA Jams, the WWF, that kind of stuff. But the sport games tend to be a dime a dozen, and I don't need that filler in my box. So if you're looking for value, I probably wouldn't put down you want sport games, okay? And it just says what you like the most. It doesn't mean that they may not send you something else, but you're just letting them know. And then choose your favorite themes. So you can see they have anime, cartoon, Disney. I stay away from cartoon because personally, they had a ton of shovelware games based on kid shows, right? So I don't want that kind of stuff. So I just left that off. So for me, I put sci-fi, superheroes, and wrestling is the 3 I picked. You can pick more than that or less. And then consoles, you need to put at least 2 systems. And you can see I put original Game Boy, NES, Sega Genesis, Master System, Super Nintendo. So if I ever wanted to add the Wii, I could. Very simple. And then the bonus round, which I think this is really important that people do. So I'm okay with E for Everyone games. I'm okay with mature games to a point. I have a zapper. I have an NES mouse. This helps them know what they can send you. If you like accessories, you could say that, send me accessories. Now, there isn't an accessory, a place where you can put down what accessories you have. So if you put that down, you might get something you already have because that's not in the inventory, I don't think. On dance music games are okay. Demo discs, if you like demo discs. So you could decide, but again, I stay away from imports. That was one of my things. I just don't like imports. I don't, because I have the Japanese text off and I know they usually work. So I know some people are, I'm not. So I'm glad they left that as an option. So because Video Games Monthly, and by the way, Video Games Monthly, really cool service as well. They have their own system. Communication is key with these things. Communication. If you don't tell them what you like or don't like, you could get upset at them for saying something you don't like, but it's important that you communicate to let them know. Whether you use Video Games Monthly or Retro Game Treasure, it's important. But I do like Retro Game Treasure. They have a more robust system here where you can say these things where I couldn't say this. I could email this specifically to Video Games Monthly, but I couldn't, there wasn't something in the inventory. And also Retro Game Treasure doesn't limit how many games you could put in your inventory, which I like, where Video Games Monthly does, but both are cool services. So here's all the things, the bonus round, make sure you use this. And then if there's something that's really important for you, that's not on anything I just showed you. So they say, don't use this as a wish list game. Like for instance, if I only want games that come complete in the box, well, you may not be getting many of those, but you could put that in there. Or if it was for a specific system. But of course, you have to be realistic with this. You're spending $45, and that includes $8 of shipping for a month. So if all you do is say, I just want $100 games, that's not going to happen, right? All I want is super complete games for everything. Probably not going to happen because I'm sure their inventory is 95% loose or greatly loose, especially for the retro, the older stuff. But you can use this to say, I'll add this. Please send games with, I'll say, decent labels, no writing on them. Because for me, I do this for my videos, so I'm going to save this. So please only send games with decent labels, no writing on them. And now that's on that. So if I go to my preferences now, let's see if it's in there. That's the first time I ever did that. So very simple, right? I use these games for my show. So I don't want games that have marker all over the label. I want games that look decent. And I also put on the top. So now they know. Now if something happens, I can say, hey, you sent me a game with writing. I asked you not to. That seems like a fair request to do. It's not like only send me $100 games. So that is how you could get the most out of these subscription services. It's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee that you're going to be happy with every box, but for the most part, I have found the more time I put into these kind of sections here, the more likely I'm going to get a box I'm happy with these monthly subscription box services. So there you go. That's just some tips from me. If you want to sign up for Retro Game Treasure, I will put a referral link in the description below. Please use that. I appreciate that. I'm not sponsored by them, but anyone who has their service, they can use the referral link. And if they get so many referrals, it can help them get a free box once in a while. And I really do appreciate that. And thank you to everyone who has used that referral link or subscribes to the channel. I will see you next time.